From the NewsChannel 5 Network and Out and About newspaper, this is Out and About Today. Sponsored by the Tennessee Performing Arts Center.
Hello and welcome to Out and About Today. I'm Brent Meredith. We've put together another exciting and informative show for you tonight. We have a special two-part entertainment outlook where Chuck has your exclusive in-depth look at the Tennessee Performing Arts Center's new season. But first, I'm leading us in this week's Buzz About with my co-host Pam Wheeler, Chuck Long, and our longtime special guest commentator Zac Woodward from the Woody and Jim Show and Pride Radio. Good to see you again.
What's up? How are you?
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me back. I didn't get fired.
Thanks for bringing your voice back. We like to have you here.
Thank you.
So we've got our first topic tonight, and I don't mean to rush us, but we've got some good stuff to cover. And I want to show a clip first before we say anything else. So this is a clip of Show Me the Way. It's a topic media video, and I'll just leave it at that. We'll watch the clip.
It's a slowly dawning realization of what you're attracted to. That's what it's like to come out to yourself. I could be myself more out here. I didn't have to be the dean. I think being out here by myself did help me find not only solace, but peace about myself. It took me a long time before I discovered that I was gay. I was chaste until I was 47 years of age. And of course, on a homophobic campus like Vanderbilt was, it definitely did not say anything. That would have been fighting words. So I never came out to university until after I retired. Meeting Richard then and coming out publicly made me even more. When I deal with people here in this county, if it's normal for me to mention Richard as a partner, I do so. I don't beat around the bush with anybody. And so now I am me in a hell of a way. And if you don't like me, tough.
I love that last line, if you don't like me, tough. But again, that was Casey Potter, who was a former dean at Vandy, and the Casey Potter LGBTQI Center at Vandy is named after him. And this is a little documentary series that we sort of stumbled upon thanks to our producer who sent us a link. Topic Media rather, is a new outlet that does video, they do stories, and they did this sort of documentary, or not sort of, an actual documentary. They feature Casey Potter, but they also feature some other folks in Hickman County that he knows, some younger guys that are coming out. But anyway, I hadn't seen this, and I don't know about you guys, but I had to have the tissues out. I mean, what did you think when you watched this? I mean, Chuck, you're smiling over there.
Yeah, I thought it was an amazing documentary. I thought they did a great job on it. And it also goes to show you that, a lot of times in the rural areas, you're thinking there's just, is there gay representation out in the rural areas? And there definitely is. Of course there is. But it's nice to hear them talk about it and what it's like and day to day. And it's just such an authentic version of that. I love it. Yeah.
Pam, did you have anything to say?
Well, it's an amazing documentary and story. I think we all feel we want certain people, not this group, to watch it.
Yeah, oh
right?
yeah, certainly. Yes.
And I wonder what kind of traction it's getting.
Well, and that sort of leads me into the next question is the portion about the gay son of a pastor in rural Hickman County, Tennessee, and how the pastor was working to accept his son, working to accept his boyfriend even that had come to live with them, was very eye-opening to me. And it just sort of reminded me that not every rural area in Tennessee is bright red. And so, add to that, Zac,
well,
please.
I was just going to say, I grew up in rural Tennessee, so coming out at a really young age was really, really hard to see this documentary and other people talking about it. It gave me goosebumps to be like, yo, you do you, boo. Hey.
Well, yeah, and again, the fact that the church, Casey Potter and his partner Richard were going to the church, and so they were in some of the scenes together, and so they brought them to their home, and we're showing them a sort of a positive role model to live up to. And again, like rural Western Kentucky, I didn't have that either. It was basically the same thing. So it was heartfelt, but it gave me a lot of hope too.
It reminds me a little bit of Queer Eye, where they go into these areas and you realize that sometimes people think, oh, they're so hard-hearted, they wouldn't be accepting, but you see that they are, and you certainly see that in this.
Especially in the baptism of the pastor's son's boyfriend. I mean, everybody's weeping, and he's hugging his boyfriend's sister, and she tells him he's family, because his family, as many often face, sort of rejected him, and it just was very moving to me. I'm so glad that Rick sent it to us. Thank you, Rick.
Can I just mention really quickly that both Brent and Chuck were like, I cried so hard, and Pam was like, I didn't cry.
I know, it didn't move me like you guys. It didn't.
amazing.
Oh, that's okay though. She cries
I
at sports
cry
events.
over. Okay, that's right.
So we've only got a couple minutes left. I want to make sure we get to the next two topics. So this next topic was actually submitted by a viewer. Lynn Taylor sent us this, and she said it was an NPR story. It says Arthur Richard Benjamin wrote an op-ed about gay men need to be feminists too. So I listened to the story or listened to the audio from NPR and then read the story, and it was interesting to me. I want to get y'all's take before I say anything else though. What was your initial reaction to just when you saw the title, Chuck?
I was a little bit surprised because, quite frankly, I've always felt like, most of my gay men friends are definitely feminists.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's always been very supportive of the feminist, community
Yeah.
and feminism. So I guess I was a little bit surprised by the
By
slant.
his take?
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, you kind of caught what I was going to ask you. I wondered if you all consider yourselves feminists.
Yeah.
Have you all done the Women's March here for the last several years?
I
Anyone?
did the first time. I didn't go the second year, but I did go the first year.
Yeah, I wonder how you might think it, how it's displayed, what your conversations are. I think we're all, we live in a bubble a little bit. So it can be easy. You can think you are, but are you showing it?
Are you walking the walk?
Walking the walk, right?
I was a little bit offended by it, not gonna lie, just because I do consider myself a little bit of a feminist, but also whenever you push like a certain group like that, it gets on my nerves. Like, why can't we just be equal in all realms of the life, no matter what your sexual orientation is or your race or gender or whatever it is? So like, whenever they say you need to be feminist, I'm like, why can't you just love everyone and support and encourage other people?
Well, in an indirect
general?
way, then I would argue that you likely are in some respects, because that's really what it's mainly about, is respecting one another. But this particular quote got me, I thought this was interesting in the article. It said, gay men tend to need less from women, so they're at liberty to tell women exactly what they think. So gay misogyny is more about being cutting and blunt. So oftentimes you may feel like, oh, I'm a feminist, but then, you may still be a little biting and cutting, and is that really helping in the long run? Because we don't need anything from them or as much in the same way. I just thought it was fascinating. I really appreciate Lynn sending that in so we could talk about that. Anything else on that topic? We've got about a minute left, and I want to make sure we get to the last thing. So our last topic sort of segues well into this. So Lil Nas X's Old Town Road breaks the record 17 weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100. First reactions. Zach, you're on the radio. Tell me what you think.
I love it because he beat Mariah Carey, he beat Despacito. Like, the fact that he literally bought this track for $20 off of YouTube and now has like the biggest song in history. I'm like, it just shows me that like anything is possible. Especially,
and it came out right as it was climbing the charts.
And
It's
again,
never happened in history.
Exactly. While the song was still out, not after the fact, not later on, but he came out. So is this sort of a pivotal moment and a positive step forward, not just for him in particular, but for artists, for anybody who wants to be out and be themselves? Do you feel like it is? I mean, I kind of felt that way. Pam, you're...
I mean, it's great, of course. Is it going to change a ton? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think country's still going to start playing a lot of...
Or hip-hop.
Yeah, or hip-hop, yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's cool to show that you don't need a record label anymore. You can literally do it on your own.
You can get started on TikTok, and then 30 minutes later, you're big singing with Billy Ray Cyrus, right? Well, listen, we got to go. Thank you so much for your input. I appreciate it very much. And when we come back, Chuck has all the details on TPAC's most highly anticipated season ever. You will not want to miss this. Stay with us.